Once upon a time, in a quiet village in Jerusalem, there lived a young, beautiful girl named Maryam. Maryam was pure, kind, and devout. She was known for her deep devotion and faith in Allah, and she was respected by the people around her for her love and kindness. Her mother, Hannah, had prayed to Allah before Maryam was born, saying,
"If I have a child, I dedicate them to you, Allah."
Maryam's father, Imran, also prayed to Allah and did everything to raise his daughter according to Allah's will. From the moment Maryam was born, she felt Allah's love and mercy, and her commitment to Islam gave her peace and tranquility. One day, Zachariah, the prophet, noticed Maryam's pure and patient spirit. He prayed to Allah, asking for a special task for Maryam, and Allah answered his prayer by revealing that Maryam had been chosen for a great mission. Zachariah, believing in Allah's plan, decided to bring Maryam even closer to Allah. He realized that in Maryam's home, everything would progress beautifully, and they would witness a miracle. One day, while Maryam was alone in her room praying, a light suddenly filled the room, and a figure appeared before her. Maryam was startled and looked around, but the figure approached her calmly and spoke to her. Maryam, trembling with uncertainty, asked,
"Who are you? Why are you here with me?"
The figure replied,
"I am Jibril, and I bring a message from Allah."
Maryam, still surprised, responded,
"A message from Allah to someone like me, a simple woman?"
Jibril replied,
"Yes, to someone like you, because Allah has chosen you, and He is giving you great news."
Jibril continued,
"You will give birth to a son who will be Allah's prophet. He will guide people and teach them the right way."
Maryam was stunned by this message, and in disbelief she asked,
"But I have never been married to a man. How can this be possible?"
Jibril reassured her, saying,
"This is Allah's will. He is capable of all things. Your son will be a prophet, and he will be born of his divine power."
Maryam, despite her uncertainty, accepted this divine message, trusting in Allah's will, but she was still filled with awe and hesitation. As time passed, Maryam's pregnancy began to show. People in the village were confused and puzzled when they saw her, and Maryam began to feel alone amidst their gazes. She, however, had full trust in Allah. Some people, seeing her peaceful face, began whispering, Maryam was pure and clean, but how could she now be pregnant? Maryam was affected by these remarks, but the peace and assurance in her heart kept her strong. She never lost faith in Allah's plan. One day, while Maryam was alone in a distant place, struggling with the pains of childbirth, Jibril came to her again. He called out,
"Do not fear, Maryam. Allah is sending you help."
Maryam, with these comforting words, grew even more patient. Suddenly, a river appeared before her, and the sound of the water soothed her. "This water will calm you," said Jibril. Jibril then told Maryam,
"Shake the branch of the palm tree and eat from the fruits that fall. They will give you strength."
Maryam followed his advice, and as she shook the branch, fresh dates fell. She ate them, feeling relaxed and comforted. This divine aid helped her prepare for the birth of her son with calmness and peace. Finally, Isa was born. Maryam held her baby with tears of joy flowing down her face. The birth of this child, a miraculous gift from Allah, was not only a blessing for Maryam, but for all of humanity. As a baby, Isa spoke, saying,
"I am the servant of Allah. Allah will give me a book, and I will walk in His path."
Maryam, unable to hold back her tears, whispered,
"Thanks to Allah's power,
Maryam returned to her community with Isa in her arms, but the people began to look at her with suspicion. Maryam did not wish to hide her face, so she calmly walked forward. As people gathered around her, Isa, even as a baby, began to speak.
I am the messenger of Allah. I will deliver his message.
The people were astonished by this miracle, and Maryam's truth was recognized. She stood calmly, with full trust in Allah, and shared the message of her son's divine birth. As Isa grew, he performed many miracles, and Maryam, as his mother, continued to support him. She always prayed to Allah, thanking him for the strength he gave her. Every time she saw her son perform miracles, her heart swelled with love for him. One day, Isa spoke to Maryam saying,
Mother, Allah's will is great. Everything will happen according to his plan.
Maryam, with deep trust in her heart, replied,
All thanks to Allah, everything happens by his will. You are the light of the world, my son.
As Isa grew older, his teachings and miracles spread. One day, he healed the sick and performed other miracles. The people began to follow him, listening to his messages of justice, love, and mercy. Maryam, with deep devotion, continued to support her son in his divine mission. Isa once spoke to a crowd saying,
Allah's trust brings us closer together. If we move together, we can overcome any difficulty.
Maryam, watching her son, whispered, Allah, grant him strength and patience. Isa, while teaching the people, started facing opposition from some. Some groups of people began to see him as a threat. However, Maryam, who had always accepted him as Allah's prophet, continued to stand by him. But one day, Isa and Maryam had to face social pressures. People began opposing Isa, failing to understand his message. A group of people came to Isa and said, Who is this man? Can we trust his words? Isn't he just a human? Isa calmly replied,
I am only Allah's messenger. Everything is possible by his will. If you believe, you will find the right way.
Maryam, respecting her son's wisdom, replied with a prayer.
Oh my Lord, everything is possible with your will. We trust in you.
As Isa's miracles spread, more people started following him. Maryam, as always, stayed by his side, supporting him. Isa faced many difficulties, but Maryam knew his mission was part of Allah's plan. She stood beside him, trusting in Allah's wisdom. One day, Isa spoke to Maryam saying,
Mother, Allah's plan is perfect. Everything is happening according to his will.
Maryam, deeply moved by her son's wisdom, said,
I will always be with you, my son. We are together in Allah's trust.
Maryam remained by Isa's side as he grew. She supported him in every step of his mission. She continued to pray to Allah, thanking him for the strength he gave her. Maryam, with her deep faith, watched Isa as he spread Allah's message. One day, watching Isa perform another miracle, Maryam whispered,
All thanks to Allah, everything happens by his will. You are the light of the world, my son.
Maryam's trust in Allah remained unshaken, and she continued to support her son, knowing that he was sent for a divine mission.